Hey guys, welcome to Local Agent Podcast episode 14. Now, guys, today's gonna be a bit different, right? We're gonna start back at the investment side. We're gonna talk about pad splitting, right? This is a new strategy that I never heard of before and really lighting my eyes for not only me but the investors and realtors in here. Now, little disclaimer, if you're hearing this on Spotify, you're gonna hear the unedited version. While on YouTube, it's gonna be a bit different, right? You're not gonna hear me talking unless it's the beginning and at the end. Cause little disclaimer, I didn't realize how bad my Wi-Fi was, and I was lagging throughout the entire shoot. But you can still hear my voice clearly, meaning that even though you don't have to see the video on Spotify, so I'll leave that thing unedited. But here, I had to take out my parts out. I'll still add the questions on the screen for you guys to look at what I was asking her. I didn't jot down the golden nuggets, right? Just keep that in mind. We're gonna have a little Q&A session at the end where other investors, realtors, and other people ask their own questions and let us kind of chip in. And guys, remember to take down notes, right? It's very important. Remember to check out my Spotify, it'll be down in the description below, and my socials will be some over here, right? For you guys to check out for me. And remember, realtors and investors, build your war chest, right? Remember, guys, Shani's here not to only bring as much value to you guys as possible, but to also build connections and close deals with you guys, right? Just doing pad splitting could potentially double your income and it's better than renting. So remember to check out all her details down below and follow up with her for potential opportunities. Without further ado, let's hop right into the video.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shani Franklin. I am the National Growth and Partnership Manager at PadSplit and really excited to be here with you all today. Oh, not a problem. So originally I'm from El Paso, Texas, but have kind of lived all over the place. My parents are in the military, so I'm officially a military brat. I spent most of my childhood in Florida, and then moved to Atlanta, Georgia in high school, and I've been here ever since. This is home for me now. I'm husband and two kids, and we absolutely love it here. Great question. So PadSplit is the nation's largest co-living marketplace designed specifically for the workforce. And our mission really is to help solve the affordable housing crisis one room at a time. What we provide is a marketplace very similar to Airbnb, but instead of our host and landlords renting to vacationers, they're actually renting their properties to community members who are looking for fully furnished rooms that include the cost of utilities, access to Wi-Fi, access to a washer and dryer, and typically near public transportation. So we provide an award-winning co-living model. But what's really unique to what we do is we will consult and work with our hosts and investors to capture and convert underutilized space in an existing home's floor plan to additional bedrooms. So for example, we'll take a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and convert that to a 6-bedroom, 2-bath by converting the living room or a dining room. And by doing so, we're able to double, sometimes triple the income on that property compared to a traditional rental. I mean, our motto actually is to do good and do well. And what we mean by that, doing good, is doing good for the community. If you think about the affordable housing crisis and shortage right now, it really is at a crisis level. We can't turn on the news or the radio without hearing about the rise in not only interest rates on your traditional housing side, but also rental rates. And so there's just a large portion of the population that does not qualify for traditional rents because they do not either have the income to qualify or the credit. So that's where we come in by providing a safe and affordable housing solution for low income earners. Typically at our core model. However, that pool is widening. You don't have to be just a low income earner to want to stay in a pad split or rent a room out, right? A lot of our members are saving for a financial goal, whether that's to purchase a vehicle or, rent an apartment on their own or even purchase a home. And then on the other side of our marketplace with investors, if you think about the increase in interest rates, the increase in acquisition costs, the rules and regulations around short-term rentals, supply constraints. It's just getting more and more difficult for investors to reach their wealth targets. And by using PadSplit in the co-living model, they can really capture and utilize and tap into that opportunity to increase their profits and also do something good. So the first thing that we ask our hosts to do is to get educated, right? And how do they do that? They meet with somebody on the PadSplit team. It's very different from Airbnb, and it's different from your traditional rental. So there are a lot of people who, when they first hear co-living or having 7 bedrooms in a single family home, it's a bit of a shocker, right? So they have to kind of get through that mental barrier of understanding our model. So we spend a lot of time upfront educating and setting expectations so people understand exactly how to list their property on our platform and what we do. So typically we have our initial meeting where we're educating, and then the second meeting is really digging into the numbers, underwriting a deal, and making sure that it's a good fit. So there are a couple of things that we look for in the property selection process. At a minimum, you want to at least start off with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, over 1,100 square feet. We recommend staying away from HOAs. However, it's not a deal breaker. You just need to make sure that you have an attorney review those covenants and understand the limitations around rentals. We also look for on-site parking. So if you have 5 or 6 people living in a home, you want to make sure you can accommodate their vehicles. So on-site parking, street parking is certainly a plus. And then also proximity to public transportation. In fact, only about 50% of PadSplit members own vehicles. So those properties that are closer to public transportation tend to perform a lot better. And then proximity to the workforce. So again, thinking about the demographics we serve and the people who are on our platform and staying in PadSplit rooms are those individuals who we interact with every day, right? Our childcare workers, our bus drivers, the folks serving us a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? They have full-time jobs, but again, do not qualify for traditional rents. And a lot of people are staying all the way out in the suburbs and commuting for, sometimes hours to get to work because they can't afford to live where they work. And PadSplit really provides that opportunity for those individuals to live where they work. And that's really our core belief. So yeah, certainly want to make sure that we're providing those opportunities. That's a great question. So before I kind of jump into the screening process, if you don't mind, let me just share a little bit about responsibilities and what we do as that tech platform. So we are responsible for filling rooms in our core markets, right? So we manage all of the marketing, finding those tenants for you. That's through paid marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, and then advertising on about 50 other sites, including Zillow, apartments.com, Roomies, and others. And then we're also responsible for the screening process. So once a member goes to the website, finds a room that they want to book, that application goes directly to us, at which point we do a background check, income verification, as well as employment verification. We also allow our hosts the option to approve or decline applications within 24 hours of receipt. So once they pass our screening process, if a host wants to be more hands-on and involved in the member selection, they can choose to accept or decline. Once that 24-hour window passes and they choose to accept or choose not to make any decisions at all, and we have approved them, then they can move into the room. So that's kind of a little bit about what we do as far as the screening process. But back to kind of general responsibilities, the other thing that we're responsible for is collections. And if anybody's had a chance to go to the website and looked at the rooms, you'll see that we do allow weekly rental rates and we list weekly rental rates. Although we're not short-term rental, we're more mid-term rentals. In fact, the average stay is 10 months, the minimum stay is 31 days. But we do allow our members to pay on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, whatever aligns with their pay schedule. And because of that, we have collection rates over 95%. So we're really on the tenant management side. The other thing that we provide is 24/7 tenant support or member support. So if there are any customer service issues or escalations or concerns, that comes directly to our call center. And then what our host would be responsible for, or investors, is the physical maintenance of the property. So mowing the lawn, being a good neighbor, making sure that the repairs are seen to. And depending on the size of, a host or investor's portfolio, or how passive they want that investment to be, they can choose to self-manage, or they can outsource those responsibilities to a property manager. Yeah, I mean, we depend heavily on market experts such as property managers and real estate agents. In fact, in every core market, we have a built out vendor network, which includes real estate agents, general contractors, lenders, photographers, insurance providers, as well as property managers. So, resources that can assist our host through their entire PadSplit journey from acquisition to stabilization. So we try to make sure that we're partnering with those experts to provide the resources and tools and help that our hosts need. But aside from that, we also offer a $1,000 referral fee. So there is an incentive for agents and property managers, or anyone who's in real estate and has a network of investors, to get involved. In fact, in 2022, we paid out about $56,000 in referral fees.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and we'll probably double, if not triple, that number this year.
So how would you say that you help investors in this case?
Well, I mean, it starts with really that consultative conversation up front, understanding what challenges they're facing, and everyone's different. We deal with investors who are first time, property owners or purchasing their first investment property, to, large portfolio investors who are just looking to diversify their portfolio, to, again, Airbnb hosts who are having occupancy issues and looking for something that can provide a little bit more stability. So really understanding what those pain points are. And then through, just our technology and managing tenants through a co-living model, we're addressing, the tenant management piece and the collection piece, which is really difficult to do if you're doing it on your own.
Mm, awesome. Now, I think I touched based on this earlier off camera, but in which cities is PadSplit currently available in? We know that certain markets, like high end markets, people, because this strategy sort of reminded me of sober house living or sober home living. I don't know if you ever heard of sober home living, but this sort of gave me that idea. But I noticed that to do a sober home living, there has to be a specific market for it. Is PadSplitting similar, or can it be like done whatever?
Yeah, so we have two different kind of investment options for owners and operators. In our core markets, where there is paid marketing support provided, that is, I guess we have about 11 cities now, but headquartered here in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm located. We're also operating in Florida, so in Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa. We're in New Orleans. In Texas, we're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in Houston, Vegas, Phoenix, and Richmond, Virginia. But we'll be launching several new markets this year, including Kansas City, Baltimore, Our first property in Miami went live last week, which is really exciting and is completely booked. And then we'll also be going into North Carolina, Charlotte, and the Raleigh-Durham area. We operate in our what we call our core markets. However, if someone has an investment property outside of those markets and is interested in listing, we have a program called PadSplit Anywhere, which, and just as it sounds, allows anyone to list anywhere in the country on our platform. The only difference is no paid marketing behind that. Most of our investors will just take their PadSplit listing link and share it on social media, share it with other investors as well as their tenant pool, and are able to meet those occupancy requirements.
Thank you for hopping on, Shani, by the way. It's been a lot of good information. And one of the things that you made me think about as you were talking about how you guys repurpose living rooms and kitchens, well, it made me wonder if there's, let's say, a 3-room that turns into a 6-room apartment, how does that affect the cost for somebody to live now that they have to all share one kitchen? And, let's say they want to meal prep for a whole week. It's going to be a little tough for them to all get groceries if they all eat different things.
Yeah, so that's a good question. First, let me say the bedroom to bathroom ratio is at a max 4-to-1, but we recommend 3 bedrooms to 1 bath for a better member experience. And if you have, more than 8 bedrooms, we also recommend that you add another refrigerator there. But as far as the kitchen in the common areas, those are typically managed within the home. So all of our members have to abide by membership rules, which include rules around cleanliness. They also have a member rating tool, very similar to your Airbnb rating. So making sure that they have, good behavior and good ratings are certainly something that's always top of mind for us as a company as well as our host. So we make sure that we have processes in place to make sure that everyone is, able to work well together in the home. And if not, we can always just transfer someone to another home if it's not a good fit.
So what's that process like if, let's say, you got that one member that never cleans the toilet seat and you got to keep on giving them bad ratings. There's always food in the sink. The guy never cleans. Is there like a strike system? Like when do you guys know, like, hey, let's talk with this person and see if there's a better fit somewhere else?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are in the process of revamping our what has historically been called our 3 keys policy. And it's basically a member has 3 keys, and each time or anytime that they break a rule, they lose a key. And once, of course, they lose the 3 keys, then they are no longer able to stay on any PadSplit properties on our platform.
Okay. And I guess the last thing I leave the other people to ask some questions too is, how do you guys also take into account if you guys repurpose the living room, what's the word? Now the person doesn't really have a living space. It's just their bedroom. So it almost kind of becomes like a motel, or like a hotel of some sort, right? So how do you guys guide some of your members through that conversation when they realize, oh shit, I'm not gonna have a living room where I could just chill and I always gotta be either locked in my room or somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, that is very much a part of our business model, is to convert any common areas where someone can sleep that's not a bed. Just as a rule of thumb, we tend to recommend not having a couch in the home. That actually reduces conflict. So, for example, Johnny walks in, he's not going to find someone sleeping on the couch or someone's boyfriend or girlfriend sleeping on the couch. So that common area actually reduces the opportunity for friction within pad mates in the home.
I see. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Shani. I appreciate it.
You're certainly welcome.
Awesome. So now, Regina, if you have any questions, moving on to you. Feel free to introduce yourself. I know I sort of cut you out earlier. And yeah, if you're still here. A bit.
Hi, my name is Regina. I'm a realtor in Southern California. And when you were talking about pad splitting just kind of made me laugh because it makes me think of what Latinos have been doing for a long time, sharing common common living quarters and helping each other out. So I mean, I like the concept, and I think it really just takes a certain kind of person to want to take advantage of it. But hey, you have to have solutions for everybody. And I do definitely see the rent thing being a big issue. Even in my immediate market, I'm constantly seeing people looking for rental opportunities, and those being scarce. So I mean, I've heard of this, but I don't even know if you service this area or how does that work? Like, is there just like a place where you refer them if they wanted to, take advantage of like sharing a space like that? Or how does that work? Like, if you don't service that particular area?
Yeah. So if you're in California, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And California is also on kind of our short list for new markets, but being in California, even though it's not a core market, you would still be able to list through our PadSplit Anywhere program. And that's really as simple as going online, registering to become a host, and then starting your listing. And once you start your listing, someone from our team will reach out and just make sure that you understand what's required, as far as the photos, having things like fire extinguishers and smoke detectors and doors number, things of that nature. But even being outside of our core market, you can certainly list your property on our platform.
And then you also mentioned something about your referral network with realtors. What does that look like with realtors? Like what is their purpose in the pad splitting? Is it when people are ready to move on from there? Do you like refer to a realtor? How does that work?
So typically the referral partners that we work with that are real estate agents, they are in our vendor network. So if we have an investor that is interested in owning or purchasing a pad split, then we can refer them to our real estate referral partners. Or, if a real estate agent is working with a client, maybe they've had a rental property sit on market for too long and they're interested in holding it instead of selling it, then they will make an introduction to someone on the pad split team to have that consultative conversation about converting that property into a pad split.
Awesome, got it. And how do you become involved in that referral network?
Sorry, say that again.
If you wanted to be a part of the referral network, how do you go about that?
You would just have to go to our website, which is just padsplit.com. And from the homepage, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see an option to become a referral partner. Now, there is a bit of a caveat. In order to qualify for that $1,000 referral fee, your host would have to list a property in a core market, and the property would need to have a minimum of 5 bedrooms.
You got me?
Yep. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've heard about pad splitting a little bit. I know a few different people that have utilized it. So from my understanding, like the type of market, I mean, like Orlando and places like that, it's like you have the parks, you have the low wages coming in with a lot of people in the area. So like it makes sense, maybe like college towns, things of that nature. What do you see typically between pad splitting and like say like a short-term rental option like Airbnb? What do you have like numbers that you guys factor into like comparison as to kind of make this type of a strategy more I don't know, I guess the more chosen option out of the two?
Absolutely. In fact, I am going to drop the link to our earnings calculator in the chat here. But there are a couple of things to do when evaluating a property to determine whether or not it would be a good fit for our model. The first thing is to meet with an account executive who will have a consultative conversation with you, review any properties in your portfolio that you're interested in listing on PadSplit. making sure that it's a good fit based on location and just the general size of the property. Once that's determined, then we will work with you to do a side-by-side comparison of that property as a pad split versus, an Airbnb or versus a traditional single family rental, and be able to provide you whether or not it would be more profitable or not. So I just dropped that link, and
Very cool.
have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me or just send me the address of the property that you're interested in listing, and I can quickly review it.
Okay, and these properties you guys have, you need to make sure like every bedroom is furnished and whatnot too. You're renting it out specifically, like furnished bedrooms, everything in the house that's needed, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. That's actually all I have. Thank you.
So there is renovations that are taking place in a pad split home. There are renovations rather. Typically our hosts are only putting up temporary walls, and that can be paneling, that can be prefabricated insulated walls that are being nailed down, or some of our hosts even choose to glue down those temporary walls, but you're not making any modifications to the structure of the home, which does not require permitting. So your kind of standard, I would say, acquisition, renovation, or conversion process looks like, someone's purchasing a home that needs renovations, right? Most of our homes are renovated, so they'll purchase with a fix and flip loan, and then bring that property up to a retail rental standard. Okay, make those renovations. And then once they've brought it up to a retail rental standard, then they do a cash out refi. And with that cash out, use those funds to put up the temporary walls.
Thank you for letting me know.
Of course.
Now, before we actually end it off here, Shani, where can the people reach out to you, and on what social platforms?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me directly via email at Shani, SHANI at PadSplit.com, or phone text. It's 404-869-2566. And on Instagram, I'm Shani.PadSplit. So yeah, please reach out and follow.
We'd love to connect with you more in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Justin.
Thank you for joining. Have a great day, guys.